Now we've got these pages done. I want to go ahead and work on these center bags. I have cut 4 by 3 1/4 very vanilla to go in these as well, but I want to, there'll be 2 in each side, so this will be yellow and then this here will be a cream color as well. And what I want to do is I want to utilize this see-through bag because I'm going to put a butterfly on each one of these. I'm also going to take a strip and I'm going to cut it down the center with my decal scissors, and I want to add that to the bottom of each one of these tags with the butterfly on the inside. This is a retired Stampin' Up! Set called Grateful Bunch, and I love this little butterfly right here, so that's the little butterfly we're going to use. So for each tag insert, I'm going to use the same color of ink as the strip on the paper. And then you will be able to see that through. And I don't think that's dry quite yet. I don't want to put it in until it's totally dry. So I'll go on and let that dry and go on to the next color. Now I've got these tags made. I'm going to cut the ends. Cut one corner and then use the other as your template. And that gives you a perfect tag. Then I'm going to use this one as my template. To cut the rest of them. Now I have added a couple little tags with this little clip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put our tags in the pocket to where we can see the butterflies. Now it's time to make some tuck spots. So I've taken a 4-inch square and I've cut it point to point. Now I'm going to take one of our colors and I'm going to going and matting this. And we'll glue that onto this. And we're going to want to continue the line in our cutting of our little mat strip. And that will fit perfect. Now to go behind these tuck spots, I made a card that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm using a textured cardstock here because I'm going to ink it just like I inked the sides of the pockets. Now let me show you how I did that. Took a piece of scratch paper and we start with the crumb cake and we simply drag it along the top and the bottom, or wherever you decide that you would like your ink to go. Also, I think I'll do a little on the sides. And that's how we ink it. Just straight from the pad to the paper. And I'm also going to round these corners. And I'm going to use the 1/2-inch crocodile. Which gives us a photo mat or a journal card in our tuck spot. Now when you do this, you want to make sure that you keep your hands clean, because if you don't, you end up getting smudges on your clean paper. I've done that so often. Because my hands get inky. Now to tone things down a bit, I have cut my stamp into apart from the little one, and I'm going to use the crumb cake to stamp the fronts of our tuck spots. And it tones down the bright color quite well. And I'll do that to all of our tuck spots. Now I'm going to come in with my small butterfly, and I'm going to fill in the spaces. Now all I need is the little antenna. Now we'll stamp their little bodies. And I have put the big body on one side and the little body on the other side so I can stamp them all at the same time. Just by flipping my block. And I'm deliberately not adding any color because we've got a lot of color on this page. Now we're back working on our album, and I'm going to make some danglies. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to punch some of my little butterflies. And I'm going to need 4. And I'm going to take my butterflies and I'm going to glue them together with a string between them. Okay, here's my string. Now I have a couple of little danglies, and I'm going to put them on this orange clip. See it? It's a little orange clip. I'm going to tie a little knot into the top. Put that through the hole, and I'm going to go all the way to at least that one. So I'll go to that one. Now I'm going to put it and now we have our little two little butterflies. Now after I've got all of my little butterflies done, I'm going to add some glossy accents to them and let them dry. This is actually a Journey glaze from Fun Stamper's Journey, but it works just exactly like glossy accents. This will give just a little added dimension to it, and I think it's going to look so pretty with just a little sparkle. Now for all of these little tags, I'm going to take my baker's twine and I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. I'm going to go through the front of the tag, and I'm going to put the tails through the loop. And that just adds a little extra string, a little extra there. Our journal is really taking shape. We've left this spot blank for the owner to do something they want there. Now we're going to start working on our paper bags, and I'm just going to simply put a card on each side of it and a tab on the card. Now the size of these bags differ throughout the journal, so I'm going to have to cut my cards to fit each pocket. Now this first pocket measures 3 1/4 by 5 inches. So I'm going to take, using my paper trimmer, doing 3 1/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to cut that down just a little so it has plenty of room to be inserted. And that fits great. And then we'll put a tab on the outside. So let's go on and do the rest of them exactly like this. Now we have all of our little cards made that will go into our brown paper bag. Now I want to make some way of pulling that out. And so I'm thinking I'm going to use some more paper pumpkin leftovers. I'm going to cut them in two and then add a little butterfly as the tab, as the pull. So let's see how that works. This is 1 1/2, so it'd be 3/4 of an inch. Be right in the middle. My card. And that's fine if that holds off just a little. That's actually what we want. And then let's see about getting a butterfly right there to be our pull tab. And we'll put one on the back side. And there we have our little tab. And these paper pumpkin leftovers will also be all the way throughout the pages. And so it will coordinate. And then we'll have that little butterfly sticking out there. Now, it comes to mind that I kind of want to cut that little edge off of there. So I think I will. And just have the butterfly. I don't know how well I can do that or not, but I think. What I should have done is just try to put it through the punch. But that wouldn't work. Okay. So now we have a little butterfly tab. And I really like that sticking out there. So I'm going to do the rest of the cards and put their little tabs on them. Now this card is wider than my strip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a banner end on that, and then as I line it up, it will have the little banner. Simply cut down the center of it, and then cut from end to end. And there we go. And I'll butt that right up against the top, and then I'll add my next little butterfly. And I think I'll just hang it off the end so I don't have to cut that. So let me go ahead and glue that on there. Now there's one more thing I want to do for the album, for these paper bag size. This paper bag is pretty flimsy on the edges. So I'm going to take some medical paper tape that you wrap bandages on. I'm going to stamp it, and I'm going to put it on the edges to give it a little bit more stability. To do that, I have a designer series paper paper pack that still has the wrapping on it, and I'm going to just lay this paper tape on here, and then I'm going to stamp on top of it. And I'm making the layers right next to each other, and I don't think you can see it. There it is. Now you can see it how I'm laying on there. This is just dollar store tape. And I'm going to do it kind of like I did the designer series paper in the beginning. And make my own washi tape. And I believe there was 8 bags. Or 4 bags. Let me count and see. There were 8 sides, so I need 16 pieces of tape. And I'll bet you that I'm not quite getting it long enough, and I may lose some of the real estate here, but we'll see. Okay. I'm going to start with my lightest color, which would be the yellow. Crushed curry. So I'm going to take my crushed curry and I'm just going to start laying on some color. I'll tell you how I'm going to do this. It's kind of in a 1, 2, 3 in a triangle. We're going to take our stamp set, And I'm not so sure. I like this one and I like this one. That one right there, I believe, is my favorite. It must be because I've been using it more. Now I took my tape and I colored in the spots, and then with my butterfly Gala stamp set, I stamped on the tape. And now I'm going to apply the tape to those brown bags. We'll start with the first one. I'll pull the tape up. And I'm going to lay the tape right on that edge. So it will give it some reinforcement. And I'll fold it over to the back. Now, where that meets is kind of a gap, and so I'm going to put a butterfly right there in the gap. I have plenty of these butterflies left, so I'm simply going to put a butterfly. And that reinforces this edge, gives it kind of a flare. And now we'll go on through the rest of them. Now that we are finished with the insides of the book, we're going to need to put a cover on it.